Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays, and I've got two really nice replays today. Huge big medal hauls in both games. Both players get a lot of medals for their game. We are kicking off with Hans DK2 in his E75 on Abbey. Now Hans DK2 has featured on the channel before, if you'll remember. He had an amazing IS4 game on Abbey, and he's back on Abbey with the E75. It is a tier 10 game, so he's a tier 9 in a tier 10 game. It's a 52%er, so it's a pretty close game, and there are 5 tier 10s on either side. So we are just going to go. And for those eagle-eyed viewers out there, you'll notice that Hans DK2 happens to have 3 marks of excellence on his E75. So this is a tank he obviously plays very well. Now at the start of the game, Hans DK2 decides to sit in spawn. He is waiting to see how his team splits. At least I think that's what he's doing. Oh, he's back. Okay, so there's only a Jagdpanzer E100 who's gone down to cover the 8 line. A lot of mediums and lights have rushed the middle. There's a couple of heavy tanks doing the traditional TD thing and sniping from the back in spawn. And Hans DK2 decides that he is going to be advancing up the 1-2 lines. At least that's how it looks to me. I'm recording quite a lot of videos today, so I don't have time to watch them all. And it's been a while since I've watched this one. Okay, yep, it looks as if Hans DK2 is going to be going up the 1-2 lines. Meanwhile, the Jagdpanzer E100 has decided to advance down the 8 line alone, which is fine as long as he can hold the choke point, but it does make him vulnerable if the enemy team can get behind him. Really don't think it's clever. When you find yourself alone on one flank, it's much better to defend rather than to advance. And there goes the Jagdpanzer E100, so first casualty, tier 10 TD. Probably silly of him to advance alone up the 8 line against so many enemy tanks, but let's get back to Hans DK2, who is pushing this M103 out of the way. His team are retreating. His team are running away. They're telling him to fall back, but Hans DK wants to advance. Aiming carefully at the lower glacis on that VK4502B, but the lower glacis is no longer a major weak spot. You need a lot of penetration to get through a lower glacis, especially angled, if the VK4502 knows what he's doing. So, oh, big hit from a Jagdpanzer E100 firing HE. Hans goes for the commander's cupola on the VK and pens, but he has lost 502 health just from that HE shot from the Jagdpanzer E100. So his team have stopped running away. They've come up to support him. Hans DK decides he doesn't want to deal with the Jagdpanzer E100, and he is going to advance north. There are 2 enemy RT in play. Someone tracks the Object 140. Enemy E75 gets another big hit in, but Hans DK has lost a hell of a lot of health so far. Just 2 hits. And the enemy E75 rolled really high, 522 damage. So Hans DK is just down to 900 health, bounces the E75. And now bounces the Object 140. This is a dangerous corner to be sitting on, especially with 2 enemy RT in play. But the Object is a one-hit kill. So he's deciding to side-scrape the E75. E75 shows his lower glacis. Hans DK2 puts a shot in, sets him on fire. That is a 9.2 replay, or this is a 9.2 replay, so apparently that's not going to happen anymore in 9.3. But some nice secondary damage. Hans DK2 ends up doing 1305 damage to that E75. Going for a shot in the upper or on the commander's cupola and pens it. That takes Hans DK up to 2,700 damage, and Artie hits him. He gets hit by the Object 261 for another 577 damage. It also takes out his loader. He needs to use his repair kit. He needs to use his first aid kit. He's a one-hit kill now. And he risks it. He moves out, takes out the Object 140 for kill number 1. But he may be on 3k damage, but he's lost all his health. And thankfully M103 takes out the E75 before the Object 261 on the enemy team blows the M103 away. Look at all of these wrecks. So still an E75 Jagdpanzer E100 down here. They're working on this VK7201K. Hans is going down to see if he can help, but he's on really, really low health. And if the Jagdpanzer E100 is still firing HE, it could be bad news. E75 takes out the VK, and Hans puts another shot into the E75. But he is now alone down here with Artie, who's just missed. Going for a shot in the roof of the Jagdpanzer E100, unfortunately fails to connect. So Hans is trying to side scrape, but two very dangerous tanks in front of him. So thankfully his team have won the other flank. If you look at the minimap, his team have won the center, they've won the other flank, they're coming back to support him. They realize that Hans DK is in trouble. E75, Batchat and Waffentrager are all coming back to support. And Hans DK decides that he can advance, see whether or not he can get shots on the AMX 1390. But he has taken a lot of damage. He's been doing damage, but he's also taken a lot of damage. He moves forward, spots the AMX 1390, pre-aims beautifully, and takes him out for kill number 2. You can hear enemy arty fire is still raining in. But someone in the meantime has taken out the Jagdpanzer E100. No, they haven't. Jagdpanzer E100 still there. I've been recording a lot of videos today, guys. I'm tired. So 4k damage. And Hans turns. He's advancing. Don't know whether he knew which way the Jagdpanzer E100 was facing, but Artie finally takes him out. And in the meantime, an FV215B183 has appeared in the friendly spawn. It's still a very close game. It's still 12-12. And both the Waffentrager and Hans are one-hit kills against a very, very dangerous FV183. But they're moving back to defend. 183 has come up and he is on almost full health. Hans DK waits, goes for a shot in the lower glacis, only manages to hit his tracks or maybe bounce. But they are arty safe, at least Hans DK2 is. Waits for the FV to advance. The FV is side scraping, but Hans manages to get a shot into his turret. And he's moving for cover while he reloads behind the Waffentrager E100. The FV shoots the Waffentrager. That means that the FV is on a very, very long reload. And Hans knows this. He moves up, puts one shot in, moving in towards the wall to stay arty safe. And the FV is going to ram him. And the FV rams himself to death on Hans DK2. So that's a tier 10 tank ramming himself to death on a tier 9 tank. That is a kamikaze medal. And Hans DK2 is staying RT safe. So it's 2v2, 2 enemy RT left. It's just a matter of hunting them down. And the Batchat's saying stick together, but Hans is saying Batchat needs to go north. He's going to go south. Which is not a bad idea, because enemy RT may have split up. They may be coming for cap. And there we go. And unfortunately, Object 261 derps the Batchat in the face. It is now 1 versus 2, and Hans DK2 is not going to have any shots here. So, again, very tense ending to this game. Hans DK2 has been a one-hit kill for quite a lot of this game. So Hans DK is still hunting for RT. He's wondering if the 261 is going to be silly enough to poke and spot through the bushes. But no sign of him. Oh, and someone is capping now. Could that be the 261? Could the 261 have been quick enough? I'm not sure how fast that RT is. There's a very good chance that that was the T92. Unfortunately, Hans DK is saying it's a lost game, but there's still a minute left, over a minute left of this game. Still a minute left. There's still plenty of time to stop the cap. As DK2 needs to be careful in case the Object 261 is still down to his right, and he is. Okay, and he spotted the 261. He's got time to aim, and he misses. Oh, wow. He really, really needed that shot to go in. He really, really needed that shot to do damage. But the 261 has missed his shot, but that means that the T92 in spawn knows that Hans DK2 is coming. 25 seconds left. Hans DK2 is reloaded. Oh, it's an M53. Told you I hadn't watched this replay. I thought it was a T92, but it was an M53. So Hans takes him out, stops the cap. He's almost reloaded. 261 is desperately trying to get back. And Hans DK is able to kill him with a nice little reverse of his turret. Really, really nice end to the game. And a sack full of medals for Hans DK2. It was an ace tanker. He picked up a kamikaze for that ram by the FV-183. He picked up high caliber and he picked up defender. But he also picked up a Tartsky's medal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But awarded to players who destroy at least 5 enemy vehicles. So you need to destroy at least 5, survive the battle, receive at least 5 different critical hits, and 80% or more of your hit points. So really, really rare and difficult medal to achieve. There's a lot of luck involved in getting this medal, but really, really nice to see one. Hans finished top on XP with 1492, 6,108 damage and 5 kills. He fired 16, hit 13, pen 12. He received 9 hits. Not all of them did damage, but he was fighting so much of that game on pretty low health. He managed to block nearly 2,000 damage with his armor. He spotted 1, damaged 8, destroyed 5, did 145 assistance damage, and 77 base defense points. He wasn't playing with a premium account, unfortunately, but still earned 14,500 credit profit. 1492 XP with a bonus thrown in left him on 1865 XP. Really, really nice game. Hans DK2 and Abby seem to suit themselves because he gets a lot of good games on that map, it seems to me. And moving from one impressive medal haul to another, we are here with Austin NW in his Super Pershing on Kharkov. It's a Tier 8 game, although there are only 4 Tier 8s on either side, and it's a 40%er, so Austin is going to have his work cut out for him. I don't bring you a lot of Super Pershing action to the channel, but it is a tank I still like. And I think it's a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for, even after it got nerfed. But it looks as if Austin is going to be going north. There is quite a bit of lag. I don't know whether that's my system or the replay. It is looking quite jerky, and unfortunately the enemy team are being quite aggressive up here. They've already taken out that T-21 who went on a suicide run. Austin doesn't have much to shoot at on this Indian Panzer, and the Indian Panzer stays in cover. And Austin doesn't really have a lot of backup over here. He gets a nice shot into the side of the Super Pershing's turret, but only a Black Prince over here. There's a VK3601H sitting at the back. E75 decides to advance into Austin's line of fire. In fact, these tanks seem to be ignoring Austin. Troll armor on the Indian Panzer. Austin manages to bounce. E75 misses. And Austin is angled against these tanks. And finishes off the E25 for kill number 1. Still a lot of tanks to the left, and Austin's able to go hull down. He gets a nice shot into that KV-1S. He's only showing his turret. Another nice shot in, taking him up to 1300 damage. Is he going to reload in time? No, he doesn't reload in time to get another shot into the KV-1S. So he's waiting for these tanks to poke the corner. And now there's an AMX 5100 who's appeared north as well. So they took out the Black Prince that was supporting him, but there is a Hellcat moving across. Not much to shoot at on the KV-1S, only manages to track him. Advances, gets a shot at the lower glacis, takes him out for kill number 2. And now he's going to ignore the Leva and the Type 59. He's moving up to see if he can get shots on this Indian Panzer. Does, but again that troll armor on the Indian Panzer. It's amazing how many shots you can bounce with an Indian Panzer. Sometimes the armor works and sometimes it doesn't, but he's got the rear of this Type 59, moves up, gets one shot in. Type 59 now realizes the danger, turns to face Austin, but Austin's able to get a shot into his lower glacis for kill number 3, 1800 damage. And now he's going to hunt down this Indian Panzer again. Indian Panzer's giving him a side. Austin takes a snapshot. It goes in. And he's reversing into cover. And another nice snapshot. Going to work on this Indian Panzer. There is RT in play. So maybe Austin's a little bit worried about advancing. There are 3 tanks, or 3 enemy tanks to his north, and he's over here basically all alone. Indian Panzer makes an appearance to the left. And takes out that KV-4. Austin does have the gun depression, bounces on the back of the turret of the Indian Panzer. That's 3 shots he has bounced on the Indian Panzer. And then make that 4 shots he has bounced on the Indian Panzer. A tank that's supposed to have no armor. So he sees his opportunity for a ram kill, but doesn't take it. He decides to shoot him on the way down instead. That is kill number 4, 2.3k damage. In the meantime, the enemy T-21 that was spotted north has now gone all the way around to the 0 line and is hunting his RT. So Austin knows that there is a 5100 up here somewhere. But Austin hasn't taken a single hit yet. Everything that has fired at him has missed. He's on full health. And his team have collapsed. It is now 1 versus 6. His entire team have collapsed. Austin is now standing alone against 6 enemy tanks. But on the other hand, he is on full health, and the Super Pershing does have very, very troll armor. So in the meantime, someone is capping. That AMX 5100 has not been spotted in a while. Austin's moving back to stop the cap, spots the M4A3E2. 2 tanks capping, 30 seconds left in this game. T21 decides to sit and take a shot, and Austin is able to get a shot in, reset the cap. But he's got tanks behind him, he's got tanks to his front, he's advancing. He's going for a cap reset. 3 enemy tanks in cap right now. Jagdpanther. And Austin gets another shot in, does a slight cap reset, and he's taken some damage. Someone finally gets a shot in. He advances, kills the Jagdpanther 2 for kill number 5. Resets the cap yet again, but this AMX 5100's behind him. And he's just lost a lot of his health. Takes out the T21 for kill number 6, but all of these tanks, it's 4 versus 1 now. All these tanks are closing in, including Artie. Artie's come in for some shotgun action. So Austin pokes, takes him out for kill number 7. And he's still taking damage. Surprised the M4A3 was able to pen him there. And Austin hasn't fired any premium ammo yet. He's still on regular AP. Manages to track the M4A3. 5100 resets, or hits him, and then takes out his ammo rack. He repairs his ammo rack. 7 kills. These tanks are one-hit kills. Goes for the lower glacis on the M4. Unfortunately fails to pen. But he's taken 15 hits, finally gets kill number 8, that's his Radleys. But the enemy team are continuing to cap. The enemy team continued to cap. 2 versus 1. And oh, what a crappy ending to the game. What an amazing effort by AustnW, and a terrible ending to the game, unfortunately. I feel for you. It was a sad ending. The enemy team, it was 6 versus 1 at one stage, and the enemy team decided that, after seeing 4 of their friendlies taken out, that the safer option was to cap. But it meant that Austin finished up with an ace tanker on a defeat, and he also ended up with a fistful of medals. He picked up Steel Wall and a Spartan medal. He also picked up Defender and a Radley Walters medal for killing 8 tanks and the automatic Top Gun, and he also picked up High Caliber. Huge medal haul from one game, especially considering it was a defeat. He finished top on XP with 1464, did 4,000 damage and 8 kills. He fired 28, hit 28, and penned only 22, but he wasn't firing any premium ammunition in that game. And a lot of people say you need to fire premium ammunition in a Super Pershing, but if you know where to aim, if you know what weak spots are, you really do get away with the standard AP. The penetration isn't that bad. He received 14 hits, managed to bounce 8 of them, and only took 6 damaging hits. He spotted 2, damaged 8, destroyed 8, did 109 assistance damage and 86 base defense points. He finished up with almost 107,000 credits. Big credit earning game in a tank that a lot of people don't rate. I think personally the Super Pershing is still a good tank. I still think it's underrated. I don't think a lot of people give it the credit it deserves, but it is a very solid tank. He earned 2,196 XP. It wasn't his first game of the day, and he also received some sort of bonus, leaving him on 2,745. 2 really big games today, guys, and I want to thank Hans DK2 and AustnW for sending those in. A lot of medals, and I hope you guys at home enjoyed watching them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.